So the first thing that I want to talk about is just the psychology of closing. It is one of the most difficult things for a lot of people in our profession, is actually asking people to enroll in the business. In fact, I know I had a hard time with it when I got started in network marketing. It was just a weird situation. You know, we'd do the presentation, or I'd play a video or go through my presentation, and then it was always nerve-wracking having to actually ask someone to join. And so the first thing that, I'm going to give you a few bullet points here, and the first thing is just have fun. Have fun with closing. What I find is the more fun that you have when you're going through the closing process, the more likely other people are to enroll. If someone senses that you are hesitant, if they sense that you're nervous, they are way less likely to join. It's kind of like your prospect can smell your neediness and your hesitation like a dog smells fear. So number one rule is have fun with it and have no emotional attachment. So bullet point number 2, no emotional attachment to them joining. See, this is a business that I firmly believe it's sorting versus selling. You've got to sort through to find the leaders. We're not trying to turn chickens into eagles. We're out to find the eagles. The majority of the people who are going to really run with your business, with your opportunity, are not the ones that you're going to have to convince, beg, plead, and all that. So next point is, I think you need to convince yourself that you love to close. And so I'll tell you my personal story. I hated to close. I was always super nervous. The presentation was over and I'd be like, oh, what do you think? But I wouldn't ask them to join. Now, if you love something, are you more likely to do it? Obviously, yes. And so what I started telling myself is, I love to close. I can't wait to close. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so if I was sitting at maybe a hotel presentation, or going through a video, instead of getting really nervous when it got to the end, I'd just tell myself over and over, oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I love this. I love this. I love this. And then I had more fun with it. I was more likely to actually ask them to enroll. And so next thing is, you want to show them how to feel. Show them how to feel after the presentation. So if you're hesitant, if you're nervous, they're going to be nervous. They're going to dance to your music. And so when the presentation is over, you want to be excited. You want to be enthusiastic. And that's going to rub off on the other person. This may be a totally new concept for them. Maybe they've never seen network marketing before. Maybe they've definitely never seen your opportunity before, so they're not sure. They just got presented a lot of information. And here's a rule. People buy based on emotion more than they buy based on logic. And so here's what happens. If you ask someone a logical question like, what did you think? It accesses the logical side of their brain, which happens to be the non-buying part of their brain. So when the presentation's over, the last thing you want to do is say, what did you think? You want to say something like, pretty awesome, isn't it? What did you like best? You want to be enthusiastic. You want to be excited. You want to elicit a response that's going to access the emotional side of their brain. Next thing is, you want to naturally assume that they're going to get started. Now, no one has a 100% closing ratio. I don't have a 100% closing ratio. It's pretty good, but it's not 100%. It's actually nowhere close to 100%. But my mindset going in, when I'm showing someone my opportunity, my mind is, they're crazy if they don't get started. Now, you're never going to tell anyone that. You never want to be arrogant. You're not cocky, nothing like that. You're having fun. You're a great, good person. But the attitude is just, naturally, they're going to get started. Why wouldn't they get started? I want to just talk about one of the main ways that people lose the sale. The main way they lose the sale is this. So the presentation is over, and because you're hesitant to close, because you're hesitant to ask them to join the business, you feel like you want to keep talking, keep reselling the deal. So maybe you're showing them a video, maybe you're at a hotel presentation, whatever, the presentation's over, and instead of closing, you start telling them more benefits and more factors that you're excited about and more stories. And it actually causes them, it makes them less likely to enroll. Why would it make them less likely to enroll? Here's why. This is important. Because essentially what you're doing when the presentation is over is you're being a salesperson. So they're listening to you, and you may be making the best points in the world, but in their mind they're thinking, I have to know all that stuff. I have to sell people when the presentation is over. So if you want to improve your percentages, when it's over, you immediately get into the closing process. So you close early and you close often. This is one of the key points, is no emotional attachment. See, you are the president and CEO of your own multi-million-dollar enterprise. That's got to be your attitude. You've got to have a level of confidence that you are going to be successful with or without any one person that says no to your business. The fact is, your dream for what you want in your life has to be bigger than any person's objection. Okay? So here's the other thing, is I'm going to give you this framework for handling objection. When someone gives you an objection, you want to have the attitude of you don't care. Okay? You're not trying to sell them. If they get that you're trying to sell them, they're less likely to enroll. See, you've got posture. This is your business. And so when they say, let's just say whatever the objection is, I don't have the money. We'll cover exactly what to say for that in another episode, but here's the framework, is as soon as they say, I don't have the money, you're gonna say something to this effect. You wanna basically verify that it's a legitimate objection, because you don't care either way, you've got posture. So someone says they don't have the money, I say, you know what, John, totally hear what you're saying, but tell me this, is it really that you don't have the money? Or is that just your polite way of saying no? Because it's totally cool either way. Okay, so what did I just do? I just kind of disarmed him. What they're expecting is to, you immediately get in and try and sell them, but no. You're just saying, listen, I hear what you're saying, but tell me this. Be real honest with me. Is it really that you don't have the money, or is that just your polite way of saying no? Okay? And so sometimes you're just letting them off the hook. It's like, nah, I just don't want to do it. If they don't want to do it, hey, shake their hand, thank them for taking a look, and you're on to the next person. But what they say in most cases is, no, I want to. And so, or no, I really just don't have the money. And so you go into question number 2 is, all right, John, well, tell me this. Do you want to do this? Do you really want to do this? And have him convince you that he wants to do it. Okay? It's not you convincing him that he needs to do it. It's him now convincing you that he wants to do it. And so he says, yes, I do. And I'm going to go a third time or a second time. Question number 3 is basically saying, are you sure? Are you serious? Do you really want to do it? Okay, so now you've got him selling you 2 different times. He said, yes, I want to do it. So once he has effectively sold you on the fact that he wants to do it, then your only job is to be a consultant. It's now you get in and you help him figure out a way to get started, to come up with the money, to work through whatever it is that's holding him back, because he's told you he wants to do it. So your job is now just to help him do it. You want to do what's in his or her best interest. It's not about you getting the sale. It's about you helping that person. And so I just believe if you come from a standpoint of you being a servant leader, you helping someone doing what's in their best interest, not your best interest, that's what causes people to be attracted to you. So other things that you can say in overcoming, just kind of a framework, you can use feel, felt, found. It's sales 101. So, they don't have the time. You know what? I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what I found out. And then you tell a story. You tell your perspective on it. That can be very, very effective. Maybe they don't have the money. Maybe that wasn't your issue. But you can say, you know what? I know exactly how you feel. My buddy, my friend Mary, she felt the same way. But here's what she found out, is if she didn't come up with the money, she'd never have any money. So she came up with the money fast. She got started. She made all her money back. Now she's making an extra, however she's doing in the business. And so feel, felt, found can be another great way.